Hi guys, it's Tammy from Shrinking Violet DS, and today is a lazy day, as you can see by Gus right here, lounging in his tower, and me lounging on my couch. And right here I have Pippi, Nurse Pippi. He's lounging with me too. I have actually not been in my pajamas all day. I was out earlier and I just came home. I went and had some sushi for lunch with my husband. And now I'm home and he's working out, and so I thought I'd do a quick update. Sorry for the bad lighting. I just can't be bothered. As soon as I came home, I got off all my clothes and put on my jammies and my robe and my slippers, and it's 3:35 in the afternoon and I don't care. I'm comfy and it's nice. And so anyway, let me go into my spiel. Today is Monday, April 16 maybe? I don't know what date it is. Anyway, it's Monday. Wait, last Tuesday was the 9th. So Wednesday 10, Thursday 11, Friday 12, 13, 14, 15. April 15th. Monday, April. Oh, it's tax day. Oof, I should have known that. Anyway, Monday, April 15th. And I'm Tammy from Shrinking Violet DS. And I had traditional duodenal switch surgery on March 9 of 2017 on April, good grief. On February 19th of 2017, I started my pre-op diet at 260 pounds. On March 9th, I had my surgery at 248 pounds. And today I weighed 124 pounds. So that's good. I had my surgery with Mexicali Bariatric Clinic in Mexicali, Mexico. And I was so happy with them that I just took my friend back last week. And he had his VSG with them, and it went perfectly. We were there, we flew in on Monday into San Diego, and Ernesto, the driver from Mexicali Bariatric, picked us up at the San Diego airport, drove us out to Mexicali. Brian had his pre-op testing done on Monday afternoon. He did his EKG. Well, they changed the EKG to Tuesday morning, but he was supposed to do the EKG that day. He did his blood work and his chest x-ray and his weight. And then we went to the hotel. And for those of you who have used Mexicali Bariatric, you know, and those of you who are going to, you will know, they use Hotel Lucerna there in Mexicali, and it is really a nice hotel. It's really more of a resort hotel. It's got several pools and 4 restaurants. It's got a steakhouse, an Italian place, Mexican and American kind of casual dining, and then it has the terrazza, which specializes in ceviches, burgers, and hot dogs. Oh my gosh, the ceviche. So we had lunch. We lucked out because Brian was the only one being picked up that day. We were done really fast. And so we were at the hotel. Let's see. Our flight landed at 10:20 or something like that. Ernesto was there immediately. And so we were in Mexicali by 12:30 because we stopped and got a drink on the way. And we were at the hotel by 2:00. And so we had both lunch and dinner at the hotel. And it was the first time I had actually gotten to eat a meal at the hotel, because the last time I was there, I was having the DS and, not allowed to eat. So I didn't have a real meal. I did have something. I had a little soup or something I wasn't supposed to have. But that's a whole different story. Go back and watch my videos and you'll hear about that. But so this was my first time really actually eating in their restaurants, and we had lunch at the steak place, and I had the burger. It was delicious. And then we had dinner at the terrazza, and I had the shrimp ceviche. Oh my gosh, you guys, it was so good. I cannot even tell you how delicious it was. Highly recommend it if you were going. And the Bloody Marys. Yolanda had told me that their Bloody Marys were really good. So she goes there just for the Bloody Marys, and she was right. It was delicious. I ordered mine extra spicy, and it was perfect. So yeah, highly recommend that. So that was fun. So we did that day, and then that night, he was done eating and drinking by 10 o'clock. We were asleep long before 10 o'clock. And we were picked up the next morning at 6:30. And we were at the hospital by 7. Oh, hip. Sorry. Let's try this again. I like this. We were at the hospital by 7. Oh, he's standing on my stomach. And Brian has the EKG. He was in surgery by 8:30. He was out of surgery by 9:30. It was so fast. Dr. Willamy was his surgeon, and before he went in, he had his EKG. He met Dr. Willamy, his surgeon. He met Dr. Gutierrez, who is the anesthesiologist, who I just loved. To me, meeting the anesthesiologist before my surgery was a big deal, before any surgery, because, man, nobody can kill you faster than an anesthesiologist. So that's who I really wanted to, talk to and check out and make sure I liked. And the one with Mexicali Bariatric is fabulous, Dr. Gutierrez. So he met Dr. Willamy, a surgeon, Dr. Gutierrez, met Dr. Campos, who is the bariatric doctor, I think he's an internist, who does all the post-op care. He met Yolanda, and he met Rosala, who is fabulous, young, sweet woman, who is the facilitator. And yeah, so they were all there. He was in surgery by 8:30. He was out of surgery by 9:30, and he was out of recovery by 11:30. It was amazing how fast it went. Because I didn't have any reference for the VSG. I've only had the DS, and I've never been with anybody in, having any other weight loss surgery but my own. And so I didn't know how fast the VSG went, and it really does. So it was great. I was so glad he was able to get in really early, because when I had my surgery, I went in really late. They didn't take me into surgery until 4:30 in the afternoon, and it was torture. That whole day was just awful, because you stop drinking the night before at 10 o'clock, and you cannot have anything to drink. And so even though you're hooked up to an IV and you're hydrated, your mouth gets really dry, and you're just waiting, and you're anxious. And so I'm going to get rid of a message. You're anxious because you're waiting for surgery. And so he didn't have any of that. It was really fast. And that also meant that he had an extra 8-10 hours to recover. And that makes a difference too. Every hour that you have to recover before you get discharged and back on the plane is a blessing, really. And so, yeah, he got out of surgery and back to the room, and he was, a little out of it for a couple of hours, and then he woke up more, and he was pretty pale. That day, he did get up and walk to get rid of the gas pains, and it did help. Gas pains they can last several days, and his did. His lasted really until we got home. But he walked a lot to try and get rid of them. And he walked that first day, and he was pale that first day. But by the next day, just to look at him, you would have never known he had just had major surgery. And by the time we flew home, so that was a Tuesday, by the time we flew home on Friday, he didn't even need the wheelchair at the airport. I was shocked at how much easier and faster the VSG recovery was from the DS recovery. But it makes sense, because it's, just half the surgery or a third of the surgery, and a whole lot shorter. The DS is much more complicated, a lot more cutting, transecting the duodenum, the colon, and all of that stuff. So it's a lot. But yeah, I was really pleased for him. And so we got home Friday. We left the hospital about 8:30. I think we were ready at 8. We left about 8:30. Got to the airport about 11:30, and our flight wasn't until 3:50 in the afternoon. There's no midday flights between San Diego and Portland. So it was either 7 a.m., which we couldn't make, or 3:50 in the afternoon, getting us home at 6:25 in the evening. So that's what we did. And he drove us home from the airport. And he was fine all weekend. He went out on Saturday, got his hair cut, drove himself. I had planned on driving him to and from work this week. And actually, he wasn't even going to work until Thursday. He was going to work Thursday and Friday. He went today, Monday. He feels good. I texted him and he said, nope, I feel good. I'm tired, which is to be expected. He says, but, as long as he stays current with his acetaminophen, he's taking liquid acetaminophen. As long as he stays as he stays current with that, he's fine. So that's good. So it's going really well. I'm very excited for him. He started his own kind of pre-op diet on the 27th of December, and then at 250 pounds. And then he went and did the liver shrinking diet a week before surgery. And I can't remember how much I think he weighed like 240 or something at that time. 238, something like that. And I think he said this morning he was 228 or 225, somewhere around in there. So yeah, he's lost about 25 pounds. I'll let you guys know a little more accurately next time. But he's doing really well. And it's nice to see, a man doing this, because we don't have that many men. We have some. Hi, Scotty. We have some men who share their weight loss surgery journeys with us, but not very many. And Brian probably won't do videos or anything, but I'll give updates for him. And speaking of videos, it was so funny because on, I think it was Wednesday, we were sitting outside of the hospital on a little bench that's out in an island on the outside the entry at the parking lot. And while we were out there, Ernesto, the Mexicali Bariatric Center driver, drove up with 2 new patients, and one of them happened to be a subscriber of mine. And so I got to meet Melissa and her lovely husband. They were down from Fairbanks, and she got the DS while we were there. And I'm so excited for her, and I know it's going to be an absolute life changer, and it's really going to be good. So hi, Melissa. I'm so happy for you, and Pip moved out of my stomach, thank goodness. I'm so happy for you, and it was really such a pleasure to meet you. And I cannot tell all of you guys how rewarding it is to meet people who watch my channel, because, for those of you who do videos, sorry, cat fur in my mouth. For those of you who do videos, a lot of times it feels like you're just talking to yourself and you're not really sure it's doing anything for anybody. But, we get, and I'm so appreciative for people who comment on the videos and on my channel. And that's very, very cool. I'm grateful for that. But it's really neat to meet somebody in person who says, you made a difference. So, excuse me. Yeah, that was very cool. I got to meet one of my subscribers there. I loved it. And I'm just so excited for her. Let's see. As far as me, everything's going well. No problems eating or healing or anything. My healing from plastics is going great. I was really glad that Brian waited as long as he did to have his surgery, because it would have been tough. I still have a little discomfort. And it's not that I have pain or anything like that. It is definitely discomfort, and it's to be expected because my nerves are regenerating now. And I lost my second to the last scab today. I have one more on my right thigh, kind of closer to my knee. That's it. And I can feel the deep down tissues are still healing. I can feel the kind of strain on them if I lift something too heavy or I stretch too far or that kind of thing. So I'm still careful with those for probably about the next 4 weeks. But I'm basically healed. But now my nerves are regenerating. And so, yeah, that's not always fun. It's a little sore and that kind of thing, but it's not terrible. I did kind of experiment with my compression garments, because on my way down to San Diego, so it's we left here, our flight was at 7:40, we got in at 10:25. So it's an hour and 45 minutes-ish flight. 2 hours and 45 minutes flight. And so on the way down, I did wear my full compression gear. So I had the half kind of like bolero thing, which has long sleeves and comes down across my ribs. So it supports my arms, my breasts, and my upper abdomen. And then I had on they're like ski pants. It pulls up from the bottom and it goes from mid-calf all the way up to high abdomen in the front and all the way up my back in the back. And it has straps that come over my shoulders. And I had that on under my clothes on the way down. And then as soon as we got into the car with Ernesto, I was stripping off that top part because I wore a tank. I had that on, and then I wore I wore like a sports bra and then that over it, and then a tank top over that, and then a sweater over the tank. So I took off my sweater and took that thing off, just kind of took it off underneath my tank. So it wasn't like I was stripping in the car. So I took that off immediately. And then we stopped about half hour, 20 minutes down the road at a gas station to get drinks. And I went into the bathroom there and I took off the bottom part. And so I didn't really have much in the way of swelling on the way down there. My ankles always swell wearing that because it only comes to mid-calf, so everything below that pools. So I had, some kind of puffy ankles and feet, but not terrible. On my way back, I did not wear it. And let me tell you, my lower legs were enormous. Well, all of my legs were enormous, but from the knees down, especially my left leg, was huge. My calves were the same size as my thighs, and my ankles were pretty much the same size too. I just looked like I had tree trunks coming out from my hips. It was terrible, and my feet were huge. I have not seen myself swell like that in years, since I was at my highest weight and had taken a flight to South Africa and was on the plane forever. So yeah. And we were sitting in first class, so it wasn't even like I couldn't move around or anything like that. I was moving. I had plenty of space. It was just from the air pressure moving against my residual scarring from my plastics. So on May 5th, I go back to the Midwest with my mother for her 70th birthday. And we are flying nonstop from Portland to St. Louis. And I will definitely, for that 4-hour flight and the flight home, be wearing full compression gear. So I did the experiment. Yeah, now I know. I still need compression. And that could probably be the case for a good 6 months. Fortunately, I'm not doing any international flying until September. So I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that by that time I won't need to wear compression because wearing it on an airplane is not fun. The pressurization of the airplane makes your guts expand anyway. It expands all the gases in your body, and so they're pressing against the compression. It's not comfortable. So I'm really hoping that by September I don't need compression while flying. We'll see. Between now and then, I'll probably book another trip to the East Coast, Virginia or Florida, the Mid-Atlantic, I should say, Virginia or Florida. And so I'll do a little experiment with that one too and see how it goes. And that'll help me make my decision for September. I went down weighing 120, came back weighing 124. Again, a good portion of that is probably fluid retention. Not entirely though, because I had a lot of carbs while I was down there. The standard Mexican diet is fairly carby. The cafe at the hospital is good. It's very basic food. So it was, I could get eggs in the morning, but a lot of tortillas, a lot of beans, a lot of rice. I didn't eat any rice. But there were a lot of tortillas and beans. And if you saw my Instagram, I posted some of my meals. And there's just, it's carb heavy. On the last night, I did something that I wish I had done previously, which was I used Uber Eats. And if you're going down with somebody as your companion, I highly recommend that they use Uber Eats. I had it delivered straight to the hotel, and it was fabulous. I ordered from a place called Botanis, and it was a seafood place, and I had seared tuna loin, and then I had shrimp ceviche again. And it was so good, and it was low to no carb. I didn't eat the tortillas that came with it. It was delicious, and it was the most satisfying and healthiest feeling meal I had while I was there. The other thing I did is that literally right next door, there's the hospital, and then next door to the hospital is a nail place, a manicure place, and then next to that is an OXXO, like convenience store, like 7-Eleven. So I went to the OXXO, and got I got sandwiches that they had. I got drinks and stuff there. And then right next to OXXO is a pharmacy that's open 24 hours. And they also have food and drinks in there. And they had tins of pre-made tuna salad there. And then a block down is a 7-Eleven. And so I would go there too. And they had other types of the same pre-made tuna salad in a tin, and other types of sandwiches. And so I got food from those two places as well, because I did get tired of eating in the hospital cafeteria. I got tired of shredded beef burritos, and I love scrambled eggs, but I like my scrambled eggs because I make them very soft. Hard scrambled eggs are still, I'm over 2 years out, and hard scrambled eggs are still tough on my stomach. They're just, the proteins in them get very stiff. And so I can eat them and I can process them now, but they don't go down as nicely as a soft scrambled egg. And they're just not my preference. I've always preferred soft scrambled eggs anyway. And so I got a little tired of that kind of thing. I was very tempted. They had pancakes on the menu. I was so tempted to get pancakes, and I never did. I kept being really good at making myself not do that. Every meal that I had protein in it. But of course, so Dr. Campos, who is the post-surgery doctor, the bariatric doctor, would come in and see Brian a couple times a day. And every time, and he was my doctor too, so he knew that I had the DS. He knew that I was one of his patients. And I swear every time he came in, I was putting a carb in my mouth. He came in one time, and I had Doritos sitting on the couch that I was sleeping on, and he talked to Brian, and he looks over, he's like, "Are those Doritos?" And I said, "Yes." And he says, "Eat your protein." And he laughed. And then he came in another time, and I was eating Ritz crackers with cheese on them, because I had bought slices. They didn't have like good cheese at the convenience stores, but they had those slices of American cheese, in the wrappers, like Kraft Singles. And it was better than nothing. And so I was eating crackers and cheese. And again, he's like, "Where's your protein?" I said, "I already finished a can of tuna. I swear I'm eating my protein." And I was getting my 90 grams a day of protein. But of course, every time he walked in, it looked like I was just carving it up in there. So anyway, but there is, if you go down as a companion, there are ways to eat decently, but I honestly really recommend Uber Eats. That saved me when I was in Monterey, and I got tired of eating stuff from H-E-B, and it saved me when I was in Mexicali this time, and I really wish that I had done it sooner, because there was such a variety, and it was so easy to get it delivered, and it was delicious. So download your Uber Eats app. What else? I think that's it for about now. This went on kind of long. I think that I'm going to do a what to expect when you go down for surgery with Mexicali Bariatric video here pretty soon, because I realized that it would be nice for people who are going down there or who are thinking of going down there to know what to expect. They are such an amazing organization, and so professional and so good. And Brian came back even more impressed than he thought he would be. He said, I knew they were good because I knew that you had chosen them for yourself, and that you had done all kinds of research and everything. He says, but I just didn't realize how good the care was going to be. He says, I've never had care like this. That was the best care I've had anywhere in the world. He says, I've never had care like that in the United States. And he says, I would go to them again in a heartbeat, and I would recommend them to anyone. And I feel the same way, obviously, because I took him down there. I just cannot say enough nice things about every part of the process with Mexicali Bariatric, from your initial contact with them to all the questions that you have. And Nina answers them so quickly and so thoroughly. And if she doesn't know the answer, which is rare, she will find out. And then you move on from there, and, Ernesto picks you up, and he's so kind and whisks you straight out to the hospital. And the hospital, Rosala's there to meet you, or Yolanda. They zip you right through all of the pre-op testing, get you all situated, hand you back to Ernesto. He takes you straight to the hotel. He gets you all settled in there, and the hotel takes great care of you. They deal with Mexicali Bariatric patients on a daily basis. They know who you are, what to expect, all of that stuff. And then you go back to the hospital, and you get great care from the nurses and the doctors and everyone, right down to the lovely ladies who are cleaning your room. And they're so attentive, and everybody there is just amazing. They absolutely want to make your experience the best it can be. And they are so professional and so well qualified in what they do. So I think I'm going to do a video on that here pretty soon. It'll be separate from all my update videos. I hope you all have a wonderful day. And I'm pretty sure this Sunday is Easter. I'm going to miss it, but I hope you all have a wonderful Easter, and that the bunny finds you and leaves you lots of good stuff in your basket. Talk to you later. Bye. And bye, Melissa. Have a great recovery and enjoy that warm weather down in Mexicali. It's cold up here, and I bet it's colder in Fairbanks. See ya.